Hello, and welcome back to the SpoilerCast, the show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them. My name is Tobias, and with me, as always, is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello. And in today's episode, we're going back, but also looking forward. We're talking about the revival sequel of the year. It's Karate Kid Legends. Oh my God! I did not prepare an intro for this one.
No, I can tell.
We're just gonna talk about Karate Kid Legends.
Yes.
The second reboot, sort of, or soft reboot, soft remake.
I guess.
Yeah, after the 2010 Karate Kid, which is canon because of this one.
That is true. Yeah.
We also
I thought you were gonna say the TV show.
No, that wasn't really a reboot or remake. It was just a continuation, a spin-off.
That's true.
There was also, of course, the new Karate Kid in like '94 or something, with a girl.
Oh right.
It's
Hilary Swank.
Swank, I think so. Yeah. I saw it when I was a kid. I haven't watched it since. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's technically canon, but you know, they don't mention it. No, this is a new beginning, classic soft reboot, bringing back the old masters to train a new talent.
New kid. Hey.
Yes. Hey, a new Karate Kid. Yeah. After Kung Fu prodigy Li Feng relocates to New York City, he attracts unwanted attention from a local karate champion and embarks on a journey to enter the ultimate karate competition with the help of Mr. Han and Daniel LaRusso. LaRusso Sensei LaRusso.
Yes.
That's it. Starring, of course, Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio, and
Yes.
Ben Wang as Li Feng, the new kid. And some other people, but who cares? Yeah, this is a straight up remake, like beat for beat. They've changed up a few things, of course, trying to make it new.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same story. It's a new kid traveling to a new city. This time he has a lot of knowledge about karate or kung fu, but he still has things to learn about actually utilizing it.
Yes.
And it all culminates in a tournament of champions.
Yes.
Where his mettle will be tested. It's Karate Kid. Well, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Directed by Jonathan Entwistle. Written by Rob Lieber and Robert Mark Kamen. But I'm wondering if some of those are like characters based on by whatever.
Yeah, because Robert Mark Kamen
wrote the original, right?
Wrote the original and number 3, I think.
Ah.
Yeah, he's based on characters created by, I think.
Yeah. That's it. Let's get into it. What did you think of Karate Kid Legends?
I thought it was really good, like wholesome family fun. No complaints, really.
No.
I was really enjoying it. I didn't expect much, so
yeah.
You can't. It's a Karate Kid film.
I mean, you can.
No, but it's supposed to be really simple. It's supposed to follow the formula, because every other movie before this has. If they changed it up too much, it would have been weird. No, I liked it. I liked the kid. I liked the jokes with both
LaRusso and Han.
Call him Sensei. He called him Han Sifu or something.
Yeah, Shifu is the Chinese word for like master, I think.
I'm assuming.
I think so.
And
then Sensei is the Japanese. Yeah,
Sensei.
Yeah.
I liked the little love story, which is classic teenage shit. Perfect. I liked it a lot. It's not a perfect movie, but it's...
No. But
there are no complaints.
it did everything it had to.
Exactly.
And gave us a little bit extra just to make it its own story, not just a complete remake or reboot.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. There's not much to talk about, like, when it comes to, like, the filmmaking or stuff like that. It's gonna be like, remember when he like kicked the guy and they were like
Yeah.
training, and so I don't know how much we can talk about in the before spoilers, I suppose.
But what did you think of it?
I liked it quite a bit. Like I said, it was everything I wanted, and then some. When I first heard of it, I was like, "Oh no, another fucking cash grab reboot of a beloved classic." I hadn't seen the 2010 Jaden Smith version. I watched it to prepare for this, and I was pleasantly surprised about that one as well, which also very much did its own thing, but still feeling like a Karate Kid movie.
Yeah.
So that gave me a little bit more hope, and of course, the nostalgia in the trailer for this one actually made me like, ooh, I kind of want to see it, even though I tried to not get sucked in by stuff like that.
Yes.
I was worried there was just gonna be, rehashing and like feel like by the numbers, not have any passion, but no, it felt like they actually wanted to make a good movie, and they did.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, it was. I thought it was really good. I'm like, can we talk about stuff or will we spoil too much?
Listen, if you've seen Karate Kid, you've seen this movie.
Sure.
There is one other beat where the Karate Kid actually is the trainer for a while for another character in the movie, which is the new twist on the formula, so to speak. But that works in well with his backstory. So, but there's not much to spoil.
And it works into the classic.
Yeah.
Him being the student again. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies, like, it's very simple. You can't really talk about it without spoiling stuff. I mean, we can talk about specific fights and stuff if we want to.
There aren't that many fights, though. I mean, other than the tournament, it's like two like bigger fight scenes. I mean, the one in the beginning the first fight at the school when he meets the bully,
Yeah.
This movie's
the Scorpion Kid instead of Cobra Kai.
Yeah. This movie's Zabka, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Johnny.
Although, instead of him being like a blonde asshole, he is more. He resembles the bad guy from the third movie instead, because he has dark hair and ponytail. Well, I guess a bun, but whatever. So he looks more like the bad guy in the third movie, if you remember.
Which is also what the bad guy in the first season of the show kind of looks like. Until, well, they switch it up a lot though, back and forth. Who's the bad guy and stuff.
That I'll say. I haven't seen a single episode of the Cobra Kai show. I think I started watching the first episode when it was new, like, I don't know, 8 years ago or 7, whatever it was. It's a long time ago. It's been a long time.
We watched it in our last apartment. We've only lived here for a year.
Oh, well, let me look. Cobra Kai.
I watched...
I can't spell Cobra Kai.
2.5 seasons, maybe?
Cobra
until I gave up because it got a bit...
Cobra Kai started in 2018. Okay, so it's not 7-8 years ago, but that's...
Wait, actually...
7 years ago.
5, 6,
yeah, 7 years ago.
Shit, okay.
Yeah, because...
We were late to watch it then, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't have like a... It became popular like a few years after it came out.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I think they had to like pause during the pandemic a little bit with shooting it, so that's why I also dragged out a bit. I think, I'm not sure.
I think maybe season 2 came out 2020 then, and we were like, yes, finally.
First season is literally a little over 7 years ago. Second season, not 2019. Then there was the skip. 2021 was third season.
Okay.
But then fourth season started. Whatever.
You haven't watched it. I watched about 2 seasons, maybe 2.5.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the movie, except for the dojo looks like it does. LaRusso's dojo looks like it does in the show, and There's a tiny little cameo in the post-credit scene, but that's it.
Yeah, spoilers. William Zabka shows up for one scene in the end to show that, yes, the show is canon as well. But I mean, it's also because he was in the old movies, so... Yeah.
He is part of the legends.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
But let's I guess talk spoilers. So if you don't want anything spoiled.
Hold on. There must be something more we can say before we go to spoilers. We've literally been recording for 10 minutes. The fight scenes. I'm glad there weren't more fight scenes, because that's not really what Karate Kid is about. There should be one introductory fight scene. Maybe one more, like in the original. There's when he first meets I forget the kid. Oh, Johnny Lawrence, I think his name is. William Sadler's character.
Yeah, Lawrence.
And then of course it's the fight at the Halloween party. But other than that, it's just training up until the tournament, and it's kind of the same here.
Yeah.
You have a couple of fight scenes, like one flashback, and then there is the big fight scene in the back alley, and after that it's all training up until the tournament.
Honestly, one of the fight scenes I wouldn't call a fight scene, because it's like one punch and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't count. His mom says, no fighting. He's like, well, he didn't fight. That was just a punch. He got punched. He didn't fight. There's a difference.
I was talking about on the schoolyard when he did try
that's a fight. That's like the only one, though.
Oh, and then of course we have the boxing match, which is the part of the new part of the movie. So I don't want to spoil that too much. And the choreography is good. I was pleasantly surprised by the kid, Ben Wang. Who I don't think has done much before this.
He's been in some stuff.
Yeah, but this is like his first big thing, right?
Yeah, I think this is his first big role.
He's done some shorts.
He was in 8 episodes of
Bob's Burgers.
American Born Chinese, which is a TV show.
Okay, yeah, but a lot of TV stuff. But this is his first big movie, and he was good. He had charm.
Oh yeah, definitely. He reminded me of some other actor, but I can't think of. He has some things coming up though that I'm interested in. The Long Walk, for one. Have you seen the trailer for that?
Oh, which one is that? That's a Stephen King thing? Oh,
yeah.
No, I haven't seen.
We'll save that, but just keep it in the back of your mind.
I know the story, but I haven't heard of this version of the Long Walk.
But he's in that, and I'm excited for that one.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 director credits. What?
Well, he's a theater kid, so I'm sure he's done something.
He's directed 2 shorts.
Shorts, yeah. Yeah, that is one thing. Because, like I said, other than the trailer kind of sucked me in, I was still like, I don't know. But then I saw an interview with him, or what do you want to call it, when he was on, Corridor Crew on YouTube?
No.
Corridor VFX. They do like, cool VFX heavy stuff. They're a VFX team, basically. They do little shorts. But they have kind of become more famous for their Corridor Crew, which is what started as a behind the scenes YouTube channel. And there they started doing like VFX artists react to good and bad CGI in movies. And then
maybe I have seen that.
They spun because they became more popular than their little shorts on their real channel. So they've spun that on, and they usually do like action stuff. So they have a lot of like stuntmen involved, and so they have like stuntmen react and animators react and all that.
Sure.
They have some like celebrity guests sometimes, and they did a like promo for this though, having Ben Wang on to talk about some of the choreography and the stunts in this movie. And cool. That really sold me on him as the main guy, because Ben Wang
as our little hero.
Yeah. So that was really good PR. That really sold the movie for me. And it's also cool because then he talked about that he didn't really have much martial arts training before. Okay. But what really helped him was because he's a theater kid. So he has a lot of like training in dancing, and that helped him a lot more to be very like coordinated and
he does do a lot of flashy moves in this there was one that was like straight up that looks like breakdancing.
the last one, the big one.
No, not that one. Another one he did just randomly during training. It was like,
yeah,
you just looked like you did some sort of head spin or something.
And then he talked about how whenever Jackie Chan was on set, he basically like choreographed a lot of the scenes. Like they had a choreographer, but he was like, let's like this instead.
Let's do a little bit like I can see that in one specifically one.
Billion karate, yeah. The first scene he fights in, yeah. And there's some stuff in the big alley brawl where it really feels like a Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah.
So that worked really well.
Holy shit, Ralph Macchio. 63. He does not look.
No,
he does look a day over 40, dude.
Wow, I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, he has kept his boyish good looks.
Yes.
Although you can tell, Jackie Chan is older than him, like by a lot, I think.
Yes.
But there was a lot of cutaways whenever LaRusso was fighting. I was like, yeah, I don't think Macchio has kept up with his fitness. He did some stuff, and I'm not gonna like fault him for not doing all the karate stuff. But it was a lot of times we were like, oh, and that's where we cut to a low angle, no face over there. Yeah. That's a stunt guy, okay. And he sticks out when you have Ben Wang doing lots of his own stunts and Jackie Chan basically doing all of his stunts himself. So, but they worked well around it, and I'm just happy he's back. I've always been a Ralph Macchio fan.
Oh yes.
I love that he kind of had like a bit of a what do you call renaissance, like 5, 8, 10 years ago. He showed up in little roles in like a lot of the Netflix what's it called? The show, the guy who makes all the shows. What the fuck is it called? Like the Haunting of Hill House. The guy who made that show.
Wasn't that?
I don't know if he's in Haunting of Hill House, but Mike Flanagan, who did the Haunting of Hill House, and he did the other show, Midnight Mass, and he did Doctor Sleep, and Ralph Macchio shows up in a lot of his stuff.
Sure.
In like smaller roles. And he made a movie called Gerald's Game, where he plays the dad of the main character in a flashback. And he plays Jack Nicholson in a flashback in Doctor Sleep. So yeah.
Okay.
And no, I might be wrong there. Oh, whatever. But I liked it in Mike Flanagan, like, because he was always like the little kid. He was the kid from Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Definitely getting typecast, But then he got to flex his like more darker sensibilities in Mike Flanagan stuff. So, and like people was like, "Oh wait, he's like a real actor."
Yeah.
And I remember even before that, before he had his renaissance, he showed up for like one scene in the Hitchcock biopic.
Yeah.
Where he played the writer of Psycho.
Joseph Stefano.
Yeah. And he's literally in one scene where they're like, "I love your book. I want to make a movie of it." And he's like, "No, sorry. No, he plays the actor who's the Psycho actor, whatever his name is. I forget his name."
Well, Joseph Stefano is the character name, so.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong then. Whatever. He's in one scene.
He's in that.
And I was like, "Hey, that's the Karate Kid."
See? Exactly, yeah. You're still going, "Hey, it's the Karate Kid."
Yeah. So I'm glad to see him still doing stuff. And he was in the show, right? He was kind of like...
Oh, yeah, he's the main actor.
Antagonist in the show? He's not the main actor.
That's
William Zabka.
He's the main adult.
No, that's Zabka.
No.
What?
No. They share the screen. That's the thing.
Not in the beginning.
After
right?
No, after the first season, they share everything.
Oh, okay.
But he's in the first season.
Oh, yeah.
Because his daughter is... Zabka is the bad guy still, kind of.
Oh. But I thought...
Yeah.
That he starts up, his new Cobra Kai dojo and he's kind of like the good guy?
he starts off being kind of harsh, just like the original Cobra Kai.
But then he grows to be more like
Yes.
Naruto Sensei.
They become friends.
All right, nice.
Because his trainees are the bad people first, and then LaRusso has to start up his own to save his kids from the bullies.
They learn Miyagi Karate.
They learn. They switch camps. Those kids all the time. It's really confusing.
Yeah.
And then there's a third one coming in.
That's what I heard. That like it starts off very well, and it's like a good, like faithful, respectful, like new version of Karate Kid, and then it just becomes messy, like every show does when it goes on for too long.
Not messy, but there's a lot like, what do we do now? We need to like change things up. We can't just do like they had to add more to make it a show.
Yeah.
Because it was basically just a movie at first
That they dragged
that
out
they had to drag out.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, so what do we do now? Like, okay, so this character needs to have an arc, and then this character needs to have an arc. We'll make you the main character for these episodes, and just
okay. Maybe I'll
switch
skip
lanes
that.
completely.
Yeah.
It's very it lost the karate bit after a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
It's still there, obviously, but like that's not the main focus anymore, and you don't really, unless that's not what you want. It's out of a Karate Kid thing.
Yeah, I heard like it's a classic. Like it becomes a lot of intrigue.
Yeah.
Because it's a TV show, so you have to have a bunch of characters, and then all of a sudden, everyone has to have equal screen time, and all the little side plots have to have their own. Oh my god, that's why I don't like TV shows. Focus.
There's a lot of characters that like. There's a lot of people coming back from the movies, from the original 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know the real Cobra Kai sensei from the first movie comes back, right?
Yes.
That's the guy.
And the guy
from the third movie.
Yes.
Do they even bring back the bad guy from Okinawa in the second movie? No. I don't remember his name.
I might be mixing them up, but one of the guys... No, it's the guy from Okinawa that comes in.
Oh, okay. Because in the third movie, it's an American guy with a long ponytail, and he's like a businessman, but he used to do karate when he was younger. So he's like setting up like training Daniel to be like a bad guy.
Yeah, no, he's also there.
Okay. Jesus.
They're all there.
They're all there. It's all member berries. Remember this?
Yeah.
I clapped when I saw it. Okay.
I think even the original love interest from the first movie is in it.
Elizabeth Shue?
I think it's her, yeah.
But they break up.
Yeah, it is. They
break up in the second movie.
Ali comes back. Ali Mills comes back.
Are they a couple, or is she just a character? I was like,
She's just a character.
Okay. Whatever.
It's a little bit. She's there for a couple episodes, but like I don't remember if they actually. No, he's married, for Christ's sake. Daniel's married.
But
he's got a kid.
Not to her.
No, with some other girl.
Okay. Anyway.
Anywho, we're back to Legends.
Back to Legends. Yeah. One thing. Not that I didn't like it, but it really gave me like, this is a movie for a new generation kind of vibes. Was, first of all, it's very short. It's like sub 90 minutes if you don't count the credits.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. We've talked about that many times. Like if your movie comes in under 2 hours and it doesn't feel like anything has been compromised, perfect.
Yes.
Here it felt a little rushed in the middle. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in like 85 minutes. A lot of stuff. It works, but it felt a little rushed.
I felt like the tournament, specifically got a little rushed.
They got rid of the like semifinal and everything, and the quarterfinal, all that really fast.
Yeah, and like sure.
They're focusing on the final, which makes sense.
Sure, but
yeah, the
little bit more.
The first 80% of the tournament was like 5 minutes, maybe.
Practically. I mean, we saw Lee's matches. They were all very, very quickly over, and then we saw like one of the bad guys' matches.
Connor Day. Yeah.
Connor
Day.
And Lee stuffed crust
Fong.
Fong.
which was it's one of those. It was a very organic way to introduce His nickname, Stuffed Crust. I like that part.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yes.
None of it felt forced, even though it felt a little quick.
Rushed, but not forced.
Yeah, exactly. It felt very organic that way, like how everything came together.
Yeah.
It's very like the guy who wrote this, like, what was his name? Not Robert Mark Kamen, the other guy who wrote this movie. Rob Lieber.
Rob Lieber.
What else has he done? Peter Rabbit, Goosebumps 2, wrote for Goldbergs. Well, one episode. Alexander and a Terrible, Not Great Day, or whatever it's called. Not Good, Very Bad
Terrible,
Day.
Horrible, Not Good, Very Bad Day.
Okay, it hasn't written that much, but the guy knows how to utilize like the classic 3-act like Hollywood blockbuster formula to a T. And when the formula works, it's if you know how to work it, it's perfect. So nothing to complain about there. Nothing that sticks out. Nothing that makes it amazing, but it works all the way through.
Yeah, like you said, the movie is very simple in that sense.
Yeah.
It sticks to what it should do, and it's true to it.
Yeah,
which makes it easy to digest also.
But then
apparently this is director's first.
Oh, really?
Feature-long movie.
What was his name? Jonathan Entwistle.
Yeah, he's done music videos and shorts. And a couple episodes on TV shows. That's about it.
That makes sense that he has done music videos, because the look of the movie was very slick, very almost a little like overproduced with all the lighting. Like it was always, some of it looked like real New York, but there was a lot of it that really felt like this is a set because everything takes place in that golden hour just before the sun sets. So everything's bathed in this golden light.
It's mid-daylight.
yeah. Nothing wrong with that, but honestly, it looked a little overdone.
I thought it worked.
I mean,
the only time I felt like it was a set was a very, very, very short scene when they're at that festival thingy where we technically only see like a minute, if even that.
Yeah.
Because that was very closed off, which felt very stagey.
Yeah, and the back alley.
I guess the back alley too, but there was so much happening there that you really didn't think of it.
And I'm nothing against it. It's just it didn't feel very real, but it wasn't a bad thing really.
No, I liked that there was always good lighting compared to other movies. For something everything's so dark. Like and it also always made sense. Like he's always in a shop or outside of a shop.
Yeah,
it's street lights.
Yeah,
or midday.
It didn't have the HDR look. Which very few cinematographers and directors actually know how to use. Still, it feels like so instead of it looking like more more rich in color and you can do like more detail in darkness, it just looks murky.
Yeah.
Like do you remember? Do you remember the Han Solo movie? Did you watch that?
Barely.
Yeah.
I technically I have, but I have honestly no memory of it.
You can like barely see what's going on in that movie because they're like, we can shoot in low light. It's cool for all the dark scenes. Yeah, but we can't see anything. HDR doesn't mean no light. It means low light.
That works in some movies where you're not supposed to see everything.
Sure.
Like in Alien.
Yeah.
But in this, no, you're supposed to see shit.
Yeah. And then I got a feeling
I had an issue with the like overlay they used a little bit at the end.
Yes, I was gonna say where they almost became a video game.
Yeah, either very video game or like YouTube.
Yes, but I think also that is because it is a movie made for like teenagers.
Yes,
so they kind of have
majority of the audience in our theater were like
kids or teenagers,
10 and 14.
Yeah,
like,
and a lot of parents.
A lot of parents, of course.
Not a lot of like adults, so to speak, except for parents.
No, I think we were the only technically adults to went and see it for the nostalgia in that screening.
Yeah,
basically.
And that's also a nice thing. I mean, sure, it's the premiere or the opening weekend, but this was the day after the premiere, technically.
Yes.
And we weren't in the biggest cinema, but it was full.
Yeah.
Which is nice to see. Sure.
Yes.
I'd love to see a full cinema for like smaller movies, but it's good to see people showing up for movies.
Yes. And honestly, I was a little scared that this one wouldn't.
They were kind of flop.
Pull new audiences.
Yeah. Yeah, but people, I mean, that's the thing that we can talk about now. Now we've kind of gone over.
I know, we'll get to spoilers later, I guess.
There's not much to spoil, that's the thing.
If we want to talk spoilers.
I think, because that was also something I thought about while we were watching it, that there is something special about fight movies. Not all fight movies, but fight movies about, like, a tournament, where you have, like, the underdog training to win the tournament. You have your...
Any movie that contains, like, a training montage, really.
Yeah, obviously, Rocky and The Karate Kid, because they're both directed by John G. Avildsen, who's, like, he, like, created that kind of movie with Rocky, together with Stallone's script. And he recreated that in Karate Kid. But there are other movies. There's not too many that comes to mind now. But one of them is, you've seen Warrior, right? The Tom Hardy, Joel Edgerton MMA movie?
I don't think I actually have.
You don't have? I know some people don't like it. But some people also think it's like, oh, it's so stupid because you would never have a elimination style like several day tournament, like double elimination where you fight an MMA fight like 2 days in a row, because that's very bad for your body. But other than that, people got stuck on that detail. Like, yeah, the actual tournament is unrealistic, but the drama between the two brothers, which the movie's really about, it's not about fighting, but they use fighting as a metaphor for two brothers who are arguing basically, and like trauma. It's so good. It's one of those movies. I can watch it, and every time I watch it, I cry. It is just, and it's a real, what I call muskelfilm, because it has lots of muscles, but lots of man feelings. I don't know how to explain it better.
Yeah, muscly men who feel feelings.
Yes. They show that it's blood, sweat, and tears that builds a man.
The tears are really there.
Yes. Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen it like properly, but I have definitely seen bits and pieces, and I know which one. I know what it is about.
Yeah, and then you have, of course,
but I don't think I've finished it.
All the Rocky movies. I mean, all of them are good in their own way. I know a lot of people don't like the fifth one. I even like the fifth one. And you have the Creed movies, if you will. Which is technically Rocky movies, but they become their own thing.
Yeah, sure.
The Karate Kid sequels, like fight movies where you're like rooting for the
never
guy.
Back Down.
Yeah,
stuff
like
too,
that.
even though it's lower, lower class in that sense.
Or I guess like sports movies, but it's something special about when there's fighting involved. You become so invested in it because it's. I mean, that's what we call it. Like when someone is struggling, or they're fighting for their life. Like fighting is so ingrained in people overcoming obstacles, both metaphorically and literally, which the movies are about.
I thought of another series of movies which would technically fit into it, but isn't fighting.
Yeah,
it's the Bring It On movies.
Yeah, but it's similar. But it's the tournament.
It's the same,
the
like
challenges.
Underdog tournament. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I like the first one, and I like the last one they made, which was like a horror movie.
Oh yeah,
that one.
You kind of like one of the middle ones as well, because you were amazed when I showed you like the end scenes where they actually do the big stunts.
Oh yeah,
you were like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, some of the more elaborate cheers are insane. Like that's also
cheerleading is crazy.
Yeah, that's also like you can also appreciate the physicality of it.
Arts.
Yeah, martial arts
within.
Yeah,
the arts within like fighting and martial arts specifically.
Yeah,
it's fascinating.
Last year or early this year, there was a movie based on a real story about a guy who's like a wrestler, Greco-Roman wrestling, wrestling, but he has one leg. It was on Amazon, at least here in Sweden. Not great, but it had the same thing. You were super in. Because he was training, he was fighting, and he was overcoming obstacles in and outside of the ring and everything, It
on
and off
this
the mat.
Thing to me, which I'm assuming it does to a lot of people. It like almost inspires you to want to be better, to want to do that stuff too. You're like, I should hit the gym after this.
Yeah.
God damn, why didn't I start like fighting when I was a kid?
Yeah. Yeah, and
not in a good way. I mean, like taking karate classes or something.
It's a very, very approachable shorthand for overcoming obstacles. Because the movie is literally overcoming obstacles, but the story is figuratively overcoming obstacles. And as an audience, you're dragged in because everyone has to overcome obstacles.
And
so that's why it's so approachable to do a Karate Kid movie.
It's almost like instant gratification.
Yeah.
Because you watch someone go from 0 to 100 in an hour 30.
Yeah.
Instead of like when you do it yourself, it takes a year and a half to start feeling like you're actually getting somewhere.
Yes. That's why we have the montage.
Yes. I wish you could put a montage in your life and just get past the hard bits, but no, unfortunately not.
I wish they had that, what's that like magical chamber from Dragon Ball, where you step in and you step out like a day later, but you've been training for 6 months in there. Oh, man.
Would have been great.
That would have been amazing.
Hey, science, fixed it.
Exactly. Something with gravity, I don't know.
Stop with the space travels. Do that instead.
Yeah. Create the montage training chamber.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Anyway.
That would be awesome. Oh, right. We need to look up, because we made a comment to ourselves about a side character, and I have to look him up now. The tutor.
Oh, right.
Alan?
He has a math tutor. Alan, yeah.
Yeah. He's Stanley Uris from It. That's what we were thinking.
The little nerd.
Yeah.
Who grows up to be gay, right? Or is that another character?
I don't remember.
He's the one that...
It's a while since I watched them. I don't remember.
He's the guy who plays, or who Bill Hader plays as a grown-up, right?
I think so.
Stanley. I don't know. But he's the nerd.
Yeah.
In It. Yeah, it was
Stanley Uris. No, it's Andy Bean who plays him when he grows up.
Oh, okay.
You're confusing the curly heads.
Yeah.
Anywho, we had to mention that because I kept thinking about it once you mentioned it. I was like, shit, who is he? He was funny.
Yeah.
Fun little side character. Has nothing to do with anything, really.
Yeah. And I like that he still has that kind of nerdy look, but he is definitely grown. He looks a lot more mature than he did like a couple of years ago in It.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of years. A few years.
Few years, yeah.
Yeah.
He's grown up at least. He's still acting. That's good.
Yeah. Well, we managed to talk way longer than we had to. But once again, there's nothing to talk about in terms of spoilers.
No, not really. That's like I said, if you really don't want anything spoiled.
Yeah. There was one thing, so we can do that to kind of wrap this up, because we're almost at 40 minutes already. So if you don't want the one thing that is kind of new in this, you don't want that spoiled, turn it off here. But we'll say this. Great.
And come back,
Yeah, come back, of course. Like, subscribe, look at the Patreon, become a member on YouTube, all that stuff. Thank you for listening.
Yes, but spoilers.
But spoilers. So now I've been warned. Now, when Joshua Jackson almost dies, hey, I could do it again.
Yeah,
first of all, that I couldn't place who the guy was who played Victor.
I was like, I know your face.
Yeah, it turns out it's Joshua Jackson from Dawson's Creek.
Exactly.
Right? But he looks...
Yes.
First of all, he looks much younger than he did a few years ago.
I guess he trained a little for this, maybe.
Yeah, and he looks much slimmer, because he was kind of, not big, but he was, not...
He let go a little bit.
Exactly. He was the softer guy, so to speak. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
But now he looked really lean. And
I gotta be honest, though, I don't think I've seen him in a lot since.
Like, no, but I've seen him pop up here and there,
I saw him like early 2000s and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And he's done a lot of TV.
Yeah, he did some like trash horror and stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, he did 128 episodes of Dawson's Creek. When you do that, you don't really have to work.
No.
You just invest your money well and you never have to work again. So you kind of just do it for fun after that.
Exactly.
When you have a successful TV show like that. And you also kind of get typecast after that. You'll always be Pacey from Dawson's Creek. But hey, he managed to do it here. Because I was like, I recognize him, but he felt very... I liked him in the movie.
Different.
No, I was going to say my favorite character, but not really. Well, almost my favorite character.
I really liked him. He's top
he was,
three almost, at least.
He was a side character that somehow had his own complete arc.
Yep.
I mean, he's literally the love interest's dad.
Yeah.
But for a while in the middle, he's the main character.
For a while, he's the trainee.
Yeah, and it worked.
It did.
Yeah, that is a new part.
While still including Li Fong's full arc as well, making him having to fight his own demons,
Yeah, because that's the thing. Li Fong, the new kid, Ben Wang, he doesn't fight anymore because his brother was a karate champion back in China.
Kung Fu champion.
Kung Fu, yeah. Kung Fu. Gong Fu.
I don't know the difference, if I'm being honest, but whatever.
Kung Fu.
We're not discussing that.
I'm not an expert, but what I know is karate is one specific martial art. Kung Fu is more, it's like an amalgamation of different martial arts. Like, that's about it. So it's not one specific martial art.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, his brother wins a tournament. The loser, the second runner-up, gets mad. So they beat him up after the tournament, and one of his goons pulls out a knife like a fucking coward and stabs him to death.
Stabs him.
So Lee is a little like, oh, Mom doesn't want me to fight anymore, and I kind of don't really want to fight, but I kind of want to.
Because he did the thing where you freeze up and couldn't help, which was his big issue.
So then
he's like, I failed him.
When he moves to New York, because his mom gets arrested or gets a new job at a hospital, instead of training himself, he trains Victor, the owner of the pizza shop, who's also the dad of the girl he's kind of into. Because he wants to do... He used to be fighter, but he hung that up because of, he got a family.
He had a kid.
But then, he needs a bit of money because he borrowed money from the bad people, and, so the winnings from the fight he has set up or could pay for all that, and then some.
Yeah.
So he asks the little kid to train him, which was a nice twist.
It was a nice twist.
But then while they were training and all that, I was like, yeah, but this is the middle of the movie. So that can, of course, not be the climactic big fight. Would have been cool, though, to see that the Karate Kid was the trainer instead of the student.
Yeah.
But instead, the fight, the boxing match comes in the middle, and I was like, right before it started, I was like, I'm going to hate this movie if they kill Joshua Jackson's character, or Victor, And you were like, no, they can't do that. Well, they didn't kill him, but they came fucking close. He was in a coma for a little while. Enough. Yeah, it's like, I fucking knew it.
It did end up being like the low point of the movie, which was a nice one.
Where he kind of, it flashes back to the brother being killed and him freezing up. So here's freezing up when Victor is knocked out because he gets like 4 elbows to the head by the bad guy. Because
the bad guy signals the other fighter to kill him.
Yeah.
Mess him up or something.
Yeah. It was almost, because they didn't have that in the last fight. Instead of having in the middle, they had the sweep the leg moment, basically.
Yeah.
Where he says, go for it. And then he just,
that was the thing I thought about that they didn't have in this one, is that our little hero, he doesn't get hurt before or during the last game. Match.
Well, he gets kicked in the back of the head. He's almost counted out.
Sure, but he's not like limping like he is in basically every other movie. Instead, this guy gets hurt.
Yeah. So, but there's also the one plot hole. I mean, it's kind of explained, but not really. He says that the prize money for that one fight will pay off his debt, make sure he can still run his business, his pizza shop, and even give him enough to get his daughter started in college. So that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Probably like 100,000 or something.
Sure.
Which is insane for a small match like that. Okay, whatever. They don't mention a number, but it sounds like something like that.
Sounds like a lot of money.
Yeah. So the other guy, I mean, it's a legit fight though. So the ref, it's all the rules. No low blows. No hits to the back of the head. No elbows. That's the whole thing.
Yep.
But still, the guy elbows him. So obviously, That's a foul.
Foul.
So technically, Victor, Joshua Jackson's character, even though he almost dies, he should have technically won.
Yeah.
But then when they're in the hospital, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna help you. So I'm gonna join this 5 boroughs karate championship, where you can win $50,000 each year." And that's how
help pay up your debt.
That's how we're gonna pay for your debt and how we're gonna save your business. And it's like, I get it that if you don't have insurance, we're gonna say he doesn't have insurance. So his hospital stay would cost him a lot of money, but it wouldn't have cost him the full.
I don't
winnings.
think it was, even though it was a proper match. Considering there was obviously shady people involved, I'm gonna guess he didn't get the prize money.
But then they should have said that. There's no mention of that.
Yeah, that should have been a little bit clearer. Should have been like, "I'm sorry you didn't win the money."
Yeah, which
that's all you needed to say, basically.
Yeah, like when they're in hospital, but you won though, right? But they screwed me out of the money. Of course they wouldn't give me the winnings.
Exactly. Like you needed just one line,
something. But instead it's just like, "Yeah, thank you for helping me." I was like, "But you got the money, guy, didn't you? Couldn't you at least explain that?" But okay, whatever.
Yeah, that's the one line that was missing, really.
Yeah. Explaining
that he did not get the money, which is why he needed to fight for him in the Burroughs thing.
Yeah. That's it, though. It's a little plot hole, but I get it.
Yeah. I mean, we also don't know how much he owes, so I'm like, do you really need that much? Because the $50,000 that Lee won for him
was enough
to open a second location.
Yeah,
and pay off
the debt and all
the debt and the hospital bills, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
you know?
So maybe it wasn't that much, but the way he explained it was like, if I win this one fight, I'm set. So that has to be a lot of money. Sure,
but then I'm assuming the debt was not that much.
I guess.
Which again is like, could you not have just scraped that together someplace else?
Yeah, that's also like a classic shorthand. Like, I couldn't pay it off, so these guys come here to beat me up. And I'm like, sure, like, beating someone up is not the best way to get your money back, but technically you owe them money. You are not the bad guy, but like, they're not wrong for wanting their money back, you know?
No. But, beating up a guy doesn't help.
To be super objective.
Supposed to make the money then?
No, of course. But to be very objective about it, they're in their right to just, claim the money back. But whatever.
It should be the whole, I need just give me one more week.
Yeah.
We didn't even get that. We're gonna, come at me, boys, basically. It's like, dude, don't beg for it.
Anyway. That's the one thing.
That's the only little, plot that... It was just a little tiny thing, little side stuff. We didn't really care about it that much. We didn't get to know too much about the bad guy.
No.
It wasn't important.
But that's also, we don't really know much about the bad guy in the original either.
No.
We know that the guy, Johnny Lawrence, is a bully, and that he's learning karate for the wrong reasons, because that his sensei who runs Cobra Kai, I forget his name, Lieutenant something, because he's a military guy.
Yeah. Caruso.
Isn't
it?
LaRusso and Caruso? No, I don't think so.
Or whatever.
The actor might be Caruso. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Either way. But, he is the whole, strike first, strike hard. We fight to hurt people. It's not, it's not like Kramer says, it's karate. It's not here. It's here. It's here. It's here. Sorry for everyone who's listening to this, but I did the Seinfeld thing. Karate.
Kreese, not Caruso. Kreese.
Kreese, yeah, right. John Kreese.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It is
John Kreese.
John Kreese, yeah.
I read the actor's name combined.
Who basically plays the same character in Rambo 2 or First Blood Part 2, which is very fun.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like,
forgot about that.
So Rambo and Karate Kid, same universe? I don't know.
Could be.
Anyway, so I liked that little side plot with Joshua Jackson's character, but it also was the one big plot hole. Where did the money go?
Yeah.
It's fine though.
I mean, the whole setup with the debt is like, classic. You need money for something. Why else would he fight in this tournament? He needed a prompt to actually fight in the tournament.
To actually fight, yeah.
Not just to win the girl.
Yeah.
'Cause, obviously she had to have dated the bad kid.
Which is
at one
from
point.
the original, yeah.
Yeah.
Leave him alone, Johnny!
I didn't even know we were over.
Yeah.
I think he says the same thing in
almost,
the original.
yes, but leave him alone, Johnny. We're done with. We're done. When I say we're done, I think he says on the beach.
Yeah, something like that.
And
Yeah.
then he breaks her boombox. Fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And then he beats LaRusso up, and he just leave me alone. Okay, just leave me alone. His ego is bruised. God damn, Karate Kid is good. The Karate Kid, the original, is so fucking good.
You know what? We're gonna talk more about that in the special episode, in the members only patron episode.
We are? Okay.
Of course, we're gonna talk about Karate
I guess,
Kid.
yeah. I had an idea we might talk about another fight movie, but no, yeah, we're gonna talk.
I mean, we can do both.
We could do both, yeah.
We do whatever we want on that part.
Yeah. So if you want to hear us talk about the Karate Kid movies and maybe another fight movie, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene or click the members button on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's
Oh, no, I have one more thing I want to say that I liked, which I guess technically is a little bit of a spoiler.
Sure.
Since he has a love interest, it feels like it's been a long time since we've seen not a kid's movie, but like a coming of age teenage storyline thing where there's an actual little love story, and it's not super stupid, which they used to be, like never talking, not understanding each other. No, he's like, no, actually explain it to me.
Yeah.
What is wrong going on and what's wrong here?
Why are you dating the asshole? You said he was an asshole. She's like, well, and I'm like, yeah.
Her explanation is valid. I'll give her that.
Valid, yeah.
Girls are dumb, I know.
Yeah, I was going to say, for a woman, maybe.
Yeah, girls are dumb. Whatever.
Girls are dumb, yeah.
I can admit
girls are
to that.
Poopy.
Okay, too far.
Oh my god.
I liked that though, and that it wasn't super like, oh, they have to be super duper romantic, whatever. They had a little moment. Yeah. Twice technically
kissed twice.
Funny one version.
Yeah, but what I liked about it, and I'm glad you brought it up, was that we got some actual, PG-13 like passion. They weren't just, we're really good friends in it. No, they were kissing. They were in love.
Yeah.
We talked about in the last episode how Tom Cruise, he's like an asexual sexual guy in all the in all the Mission Impossible movies. Like, he's so protective of all the women, but he
barely touches them.
He cares for them, but never love. He never love. He's clean. He's untouched. Unlike in Mission Impossible 2, the older ones.
Yeah. Or comparing, like we said in that one, to James Bond, where he's like sleeping with everyone he can.
He's a fucking slut. Yeah.
Man whore.
Yeah. Or like we said, in other like modern franchises, for a while, a few years ago, like no movie had any like passion, passion beyond just being like friends and family.
We can actually bring up one of our favorite subjects to kind of introduce into that.
Yeah.
Marvel movies.
Yeah.
There's like 3 characters in that universe that have proper, not 4, I guess, that have proper like love stories.
Yeah.
And they were mainly in like phase 1 and 2.
Yeah. You have Tony Stark and Pepper Potts.
After that, they kind of, yes.
But that also kind of like by
they don't show a lot of PDA.
I was gonna say after by Infinity War, but that's 10 years into the. But after the Iron Man trilogy, and even in the third movie, they're not really like kissy.
No,
they're obviously
there's no
together,
PDA.
but they don't show what is PDA.
Public display of affection.
Oh, okay. I was like, pussy, dick, action.
Ew!
I don't know.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah, and then of course you have Thor and Jane.
Yes.
But that's just in the first movie. In the second one, she's comatose in the goo, or she's full up with the goo.
Oh, right.
The goo thing.
I forgot about that.
And then in the third movie, she's not. She's Thor in the third movie.
He's probably. We do have Captain America,
and Carter,
having a few love interests over the time.
Yeah, and exactly. Which is though kind of creepy. In Civil War, he hooks up with Peggy Carter's daughter.
Yeah, which
is like, ooh, okay.
And number 4 is Peter Parker. Because he does have a girlfriend.
That's very much puppy love. We don't really see them.
That's very much puppy love. Yeah. But still, that's like that's what we had in the last fucking 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years maybe take, but 15, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the Star Wars movies, everyone's just friends. They were kind of hinting at Rey and Finn in the first movie when he's like,
but that never got anywhere.
You got a boyfriend, cute boyfriend? She's like, no.
That's just him being very attracted to her.
Yeah.
That's not
and then nothing
mutual.
And you have the most awkward kiss in all of cinematic history in The Last Jedi, when Rose Tico kisses Finn in the end.
Oh yeah.
While their friends are being exploded by the
also
bad
not
guys.
What's the word? Reciprocated.
Yeah, and he's like, "Why are you? Excuse me, friend. Why are you kissing me?" Basically.
Yeah.
As she's dying, it's like, "Oh, what?" So weird. So weird. It's like
this was a nice back to classic, teenage love stuff.
Yeah, and it was nice to see some passion, and that it didn't really drive the plot, but it
was part of the characters.
It was part of the character. Yeah, it was part of the character evolving, growing.
The arc.
Yeah. And it was kind of like, for some reason, people didn't know how to write love, passion in movies for a few years.
Yeah.
They were like, no, it's got to be safe.
It's either super safe or it's like full blown.
Yeah, or they lean into
sex
it
all the time.
It's HBO. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mickey 17.
Yeah.
Sleep all the time.
Where it's like, well, it's just sex. It's casual sex.
Yeah, like,
but there should be love.
Where is the love?
Yeah, exactly. We need some fucking passion.
Love.
So that was nice to see.
Yeah.
Quickly just want to reference, since I brought up Star Wars, the Force Awakens Mr. Plinkett review, when he has a whole segment about that. And how it's a long thing, but there's a whole montage of all the like hugging in The Force Awakens, set to the song. What's it called? I think it's called Hugs. No, it's some sort of like, I don't know. It's some sort of like kind of like Christian hug version of a real song. I don't forget what it's called.
Oh.
But it's very funny, and he talks about where the fuck is all the sex, basically. And then you see that montage of everyone hugging and everyone being friends and family.
Yeah, like the Thunderbolts ending or whatever.
Oh God, yes,
friends.
Oh, we're friends. We are family. We found our family. Shut the fuck up.
Like found family is a good trope.
But it's
usually parallel with a love story.
Somebody grab a boob, do something. not specific, but you know what I mean, like.
Yes.
And what's funny is the kind of what I think the franchise that ushered it in, but that we are actually big fans of, is the Fast and Furious.
That ushered in the friends or the found family?
Family. Mi familia.
Yes.
But those movies always had the passion as well.
Exactly. There's always someone who's in love with someone.
Yeah.
There's always a wife or a girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
Almost always.
Han
there is always.
And
Giselle.
Wonder Woman. Giselle, right, yeah. There's always something going on, but then the entire group is family. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think people are like, oh, right, we can make it about family. And they forgot, though, families, unless they're all blood-related, families come together through love,
Exactly. And found family is a very good trope. I love found family.
Sure.
That's so nice.
But there has to be...
But in a movie, you need to have someone being in love with someone. Yeah. And it could be like, the found family part could all be like, oh, but that's your best friend's sister. But he loves you still because you're best friends, so he's fine with you dating your sister. As in Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally with Dom and Mia and what the fuck is his name? Brian.
Brian Earl Spillner. It's his real name.
Yeah.
But he's Brian something when he's undercover.
Yeah.
Yeah, like classic, remembering in Spider-Man, I think it's the first one when he saves Mary Jane from the festival,
Yeah.
And he drops her off on the rooftop with the lawn on. And he's like, well, gotta go. And she's like, wait! And gives him a kiss and like, go get him, Tiger. It's like, we need that!
Yeah!
We need that! Because that motivates him, because he's in love with Mary Jane. Yeah.
He's not just saving everyone else, he's saving her. He wants to impress her a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more to it then.
Yeah, and it's not just
and this had that a little bit.
It had that, yeah.
Li Fong wanted to help his love interest's father, not just to be good to the dad, who's been nice to him, obviously,
because
but
he liked her.
To win good graces with her.
Yeah.
Bring her back. Even though she broke his heart at that one little moment when she was talking to her ex again.
Even though he didn't really know it himself until Alan pointed it out. It's like,
true.
Yeah,
he wasn't, he kind of knew, he just didn't want to admit it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Like, yeah, no, we're just friends.
We're just friends, right?
Bro.
Right?
Yeah.
Bruh.
He literally says, bro. She wants you to,
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Alan, the math nerd, sees it. Motherfucker, you better go for it, okay?
Is it my cardigan?
Yeah. Anyway.
I liked it. This is that classic. It had almost a nostalgic feel to it because of that. It's such a simple classic story told in a modern world without having too much modern shit like we had in some other reboot, remakes, sequel, legacy, whatever.
Yeah, they didn't try to make... Scream.
That one. But I was thinking of another one as well. She saw that. He saw that. Remember those movies?
Yeah.
Where they like threw in like video calls and shit. That
yeah.
Weird.
It didn't try to like, I saw on...
We're all on TikTok.
I saw on X that they're doing a tournament. And it was
an actual poster.
It was modern in its, sensibilities. Although, I also like that the bad guy was... I don't want to say racist, but racially insensitive, calling Li Fong, yo, Beijing, all the time.
Yeah.
Basically saying, yo, Chinaman, ho, hey, Ching Chong boy. Basically, which is like... Hey.
He did ask him first thing, like, where are you from, though?
Yo, of course.
He's like, no, Beijing.
Well, that too. I almost thought they were going to go, it's like, yo, where are you from? He's just like, New York? He's like, no, where are you really from? But no, he is from Beijing, so...
He was also recently moved there, so he couldn't say he's from New York.
No, but I like that they didn't like, because he's a bad guy. Of course he's gonna like poke fun at him being from another country because he's an asshole.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. They didn't clean up the bad guy. He was an asshole, a real asshole.
But they didn't go too far like they did back in the days.
Exactly.
Like
no.
Actually do like accents and stuff.
They didn't do. Speaking of, but that movie's 15 years old at this point. In the karate, the Kung Fu Kid, the Jada Smith movie, where the girl he's interested in, the first thing she says to him is, "Can I touch your hair?" And he's like, "Oh,
he's like, yeah,
okay,
sure."
Because
that's something you're not supposed to ask.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a whole. I don't know if you remember. That was a whole. I mean, it's always been kind of a thing that.
Yeah.
White people or other ethnicities want to touch black people's hair for some reason because it's different, whatever. But that became
though.
It is. Yeah. But it became a whole big thing.
Yeah.
When
from that movie.
No.
Good.
But
Really?
on like social media and when social justice became a big thing around pre really, I mean, it was, from my perspective, Gamergate, and then pre-Trump being elected, when social justice really rose up, they became a big movement to like, motherfucker, don't touch black people's hair.
Sure, yeah.
There was even, what's that movie? Fuck, it's a really good movie about like how that's not really.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Fuck. It's not called You People. That's too racist. What the fuck is it called? Shit.
I think of one, but I don't know if that's the one you're thinking of.
Which one are you thinking of?
The Hate You Give?
No. That. God damn it. What was it called?
Also, that was in 2018, so.
It's from 2015. Kyle Gallner has a small role in it, I think.
Search
Kyle
for
Gallner.
him, for Christ's sake.
Maybe it isn't Kyle Gallner. It's not Blackish. That's a TV show.
Yeah. Does have the same thing though a bit, but
yeah. And it's not Sorry to Bother You, but it's the same kind of like it's a black story. I don't know how to explain. God damn it, I can't remember the name. It even became a TV show for a little while. Fuck. Whatever. The poster is literally a white hand touching a black guy's afro.
Okay.
God damn it. Nah, I can't remember it. Whatever. And it's the whole thing. There's a girl who runs like a college radio station at her college, and she's like calling out, racism and white privilege and all that. And then she kind of gets it's not like it goes anti-SJW, but it shows that there's much more nuance than just black and white. The fuck is it called? For your I don't know. Whatever.
Dear White People.
Dear White People. Yes. So
Didn't you say that?
Maybe I did. I don't know, because I think that's like her. No, I didn't say that. I said you people. I said, but that's another movie. I think isn't that the movie that came out a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, with Jonah Hill. That was terrible.
A group of black students navigate various forms of racial and other types of discrimination. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember.
At a predominantly white Ivy League college.
But the 2014 it was. Yeah, but the big thing
that's
in
the
that
TV
one,
show. I'm looking at the TV show poster.
It kind of starts, and yeah, like I said, the poster is someone touching an afro. Justin Simien made that movie, right? What did he do after that? He made another movie centered around black people's hair, Bad Hair, which was a horror movie. Where
maybe he has a theme for hair.
Yeah, he got stuck, hung up on that whole white people touching black people's hair.
Kyle Gallner is in it though in the movie, yeah.
Huh?
Kyle Gallner.
It is Kyle
in the
Gallner.
movie.
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
And he's the one who's explaining like what it's actually harder to be a white middle class man in today's society. She's like,
ooh.
Excuse me, which once again he shows the whole. It's not either or. Everyone struggles in their own way. There are, of course, racial and class struggles specific for different classes and races, but everyone struggles in their own way.
I understand what he's saying, because as a white man, you will get judged even though you don't do anything based on every other white man's mishaps, but it's not really the same. You're just being it is, but it also
now we're getting fuck it.
Yeah,
this is so far into it. We can just as well talk about it because nobody's listening this far into an episode unless we're like the diehard fans. Thank you so much for still listening.
Yes,
like that. I mean, that was literally though a thing.
That was where
white privilege was so like ingrained into like the discussion around culture or whatever you want to call it, race culture. That some people. Black people said that even like white homeless men have more privilege than the average black person. It's like, no, they don't. They're homeless. They don't have any money. They're literally being stepped over by everyone. There's no privilege at all there.
That's the kind of people that would say that like anyone. The only people who can be racist are white people. That's not true.
Yeah, the racism. Racism is.
Hating on another race.
Privilege plus power, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or prejudice plus privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
you can
and
anyone can be racist.
Yeah, and it's so easy to just tear that apart. Because I mean and maybe not in such easy terms, but it's like then where the fuck is my white privilege? I have lived. It isn't anymore. They're fixing up this area, but I literally, as a white privileged cis man, lived the first 4 years I lived on my own. I lived in a literal slum.
Oh yeah.
It was condemned as a slum when they they forced out the first
tenants?
owners. No, not tenants.
Oh
the first owners of the landlord, so to speak, of the whole area, and like they wrote up like a new. And when the new people came in, they were like, "Yeah, we took over from the last people because the area was technically condemned as a slum, so they were forced out, and now we're gonna try to fix this up,
clean it up a little bit."
Although those owners weren't able to do that. They tried for like 3 years, and they were like, "We're giving up." And then the new ones have been the ones doing it now for the last 5 years, and they're actually fixing it up
because they actually have money to do it, probably.
Yeah. And this is like, so they're fixing it up. So of course they're fixing up where the white people live. Hey, I'm one of the few white people here. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Not it has nothing to do with race. It has to do with class, maybe, but nothing to do with race. It's much more nuanced than just saying, well, white people and black people.
Yeah, and also like, it's even more than just class. It's upbringing. It's because I mean our parents are middle class, but it's not like they gave you enough to find a middle class homing. No, you lived in a slum.
Yeah.
I bypassed that by moving in with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
So we had dual incomes to fix that. We managed to keep it kind of middle class still.
Yeah.
I guess this counts as middle class.
Yeah, you live in a fairly new building. It's
This is from the 70s.
Yeah, but didn't they fix it up recently?
It is renovated partially in like 2023 or something. Yeah. And they're still doing those kind of renovations in the area. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's when I say that they're fixing up this, they built some new houses. The old houses, though, the only thing we've got that is new in 10 and a half years I lived here, we got new windows.
Yeah.
That's it.
We would need new windows, though.
And when my radiators sprung a leak 2 winters ago, they had to fix my radiators.
Yeah.
So I have new radiators. But other than that, everything in here is from the early 70s. Yeah. So, but they're slowly working on it.
Sure,
they're still putting in new windows on the other buildings. So we'll get to fixing up the apartments.
Some time.
Yeah,
you do once because that's what like in these. I think there's like 8 buildings technically that contain the same area, and they're still renovating some apartments in some of the other buildings here. So like. They started in one end, and they're moving slowly.
And also,
we just happened to get one that was already renovated. Yeah,
they started the renovations or building new houses, tearing down the old houses and building new houses in 2019. So then everything came to a dead halt for a few years. And I lived in like a construction zone or outside a construction zone for 3 years.
Exactly.
Where nothing moved. Anyway, that is completely beside the point.
What we're trying to get to is. The whole I don't even know where we came from.
It had nothing to do with Karate Kid Legends. I just pointed out.
We spiraled after that.
It spiraled after that kind of insensitive scene in Karate Kid from 2010. When she says,
exactly.
"Can I touch your hair?"
However, that scene does not have bad intentions in any way, shape, or form.
No.
She is purely has not seen a black person before.
Yeah, because she's from China. They don't really have immigration to China.
Not really, no.
At least not from the Western world, you know.
Whoa, you got braids too? That looks so cool. Can I feel it?
Yeah.
Does it feel different from my hair?
Anyway. Yeah,
I don't blame her. Like,
I think we're going to wrap it up there.
Yes.
We spent like 10 minutes on this.
Weird tangent. Yeah. Overall, Legends, Karate Kid Legends.
Great.
A great movie. Great movie.
That's where it started. We're talking about how the bad guy was kind of
Beijing. Yeah,
he was kind of racist.
Kind of, but he was soft racist.
That never became a thing. It was not like actually race and blah. No, it never became that. It was just he's a bad guy, so he'll use an insensitive like nickname.
He's also the only guy in the entire movie who has who uses an insensitive nickname.
Sure, yeah.
And it's the only time we hear it. It's him calling him that. Like, that's...
because he's the bad guy.
That's the only thing. And that's what I said before. They didn't go overboard like they did back in the days.
No, yeah.
Where we would, like, doing the eyes or, like, doing the accent or something. It's like... Because that could have been a thing.
Yeah, I know.
If this was made in, like, the 90s, that would have been a thing.
Maybe, yeah. But that's if the movie focuses on something like that, which this movie would never have,
No.
That's not the point. It's about fucking fighting.
Exactly.
Overcoming obstacles. Yeah. It's not about race.
Which is why me and my fiance on the way home said, you should go to the gym tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
I haven't rated this,
no,
but I'm like...
Oh, yeah. We fuck it. We can read some reviews. Do you have it up?
I mean, most of them seem to have really positive ones. Actually, it's averaging a 3.0 on Letterboxd.
Oh, Letterboxd. What are some people saying?
Well, we don't take them too seriously, to be honest.
No.
Also, there's a bunch of them in different languages.
Yeah, I guess it's a little too new. It doesn't have a Metascore yet.
No.
It has a 6.6 IMDb user rating. 3,000 reviews, so 6.6 is pretty... Yeah, a 3.0. And that's probably where I would land. It might actually get a 3.5, because I did really enjoy it.
I would probably give it like a 4.
No.
I didn't have any issues with it.
For me, when you get up into the 4s, that's when you start talking about like quality cinema for me.
I guess.
And this wasn't quality cinema. This was good entertainment. Very different.
I guess.
It's not Scorsese, it's not cinema,
A lot of people are saying that it's like cliche, it's a little bit like Disney Channel.
What were they expecting though? That's the thing.
That's what I'm thinking. I think they're expecting more than they should.
From the third reboot of a 40-year-old movie? No, you can't.
Exactly.
This was all you could ever expect.
Wow, someone said they hated it so fucking much though.
Wow.
This movie is an unbridled editing nightmare. My neck hurts as a result of the whiplash introduced by the endless, constant cuts, jarring, abrupt, and bewildering, uncalled for cuts.
Yes, like I pointed out, there was a lot of rushing through the middle. I think there's like, unless you count all the little small montages as one montage, if you don't do that, there's like 10 montages in 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is, what the fuck?
This isn't a movie so much as it is a slideshow, and make no mistake, this isn't some branch off of Cobra Kai. Macho's inclusion is brief and ham-fisted. Well, this is more of a lazy dogshit sequel to the 2010 Karate Kid edited through a meat grinder. The only thing they achieved here, which in and of itself is really quite impressive, is they somehow made a worse Karate Kid movie than the next Karate Kid.
Oh, wow.
That's not fair.
Well, I haven't seen the next Karate Kid, so...
I've seen, not all of it, but I've seen parts
I've seen it when I was a kid, but I don't remember it. But yeah, there's some guy here, and I think that's also about... No, there's that modern media poisoning that a lot of younger people have. One guy here gave it 1 out of 5. Cobra Kai never dies, but the Karate Kid franchise might with this new movie. Yeah, obviously they're going to be able to spend more time on characters when you have 100 episodes of a TV show. This is 80 minutes, which is basically 2 episodes of the TV show. Of course it's going to feel more truncated. Yeah. It's not fair. You can't judge this on like how they develop characters against a TV show with 8 seasons. Like, come on.
Exactly.
That's not fair.
No.
Cobra Kai never dies. Shut the fuck up, idiot.
Someone gave it a 1.5 star. What a bizarre little movie. So incredibly at odds with itself. On one hand, you have a refreshing and fun spin on the franchise, and on the other hand, you have a desperate attempt at recapturing the magic of the 80s original. What you get is a film that kind of fails to do either. They write a bunch more, but I'm not going to read all of it because.
And that's.
But what did you expect? Again, like, do you really expect them to recreate the original without having to? I mean, if they did that, people would just go, "But this is just the original. Like, why are we watching this? We could watch the original then."
Yeah, and that's also something that I don't, or maybe I'm saying none, but very few sequels do. To try, especially when you have such a beloved classic as The Karate Kid, like, you're not going to capture that magic again. At best, you get like a lukewarm sequel that is fun, but it's not the same thing. And that's the thing. This is not going to become a classic. Nobody's going to remember this in a couple of years. The only way they will remember it is because it's part of the Karate Kid franchise. But when you talk about Karate Kid, you're going to talk about the first movie. Maybe the first 3 movies. Maybe. But even the sequels are just like, not as good. Not even close.
They're basically what comes up after you watch the movie and suggested for watch next.
Yeah. It's like it only took a few years, but when you talk about Ghostbusters nowadays, you think about the original.
Yeah.
You don't think about the Lady Ghostbusters.
Unless if you do, you say the new Ghostbusters, because they're still the new ones. But
even if you say Ghostbusters, people don't think about Afterlife or the one that came out, was it last year? People don't think about Frozen Empire or Frozen Kingdom, whatever it was.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah. I still believe that it was called Frozen Kingdom in the first teaser, and they changed it to Frozen Empire later. I haven't looked it up, but
have you Googled it?
No, I haven't.
Ask ChatGPT. That has nothing to do with this.
No,
not now. Do it after.
No, I was just gonna
overall,
say, you're never gonna capture the exact magic of the original.
No,
but for what it is, it's a good movie.
This was a fair, very late sequel.
Very, very late. Yeah.
It is made for the new generation, but it still caters to the ones who grew up with the original movies without being like, oh, remember.
Yeah, without being pure nostalgia member berries.
Yeah. I think they did a perfectly good job.
Yeah.
This is a good movie.
Yeah.
It's borderline great.
No, I won't go that far. But it's not a bad movie. It's a fine movie.
I think it's better than fine. It's a good movie.
But that's it. I think you're getting sucked in because it's a sports movie. It's a fight movie. And you go,
but that's
in the end.
Yeah. Hell, then it worked.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway,
I like Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio kind of fighting it out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, Jackie Chan, he looks like an old Chinese grandma at this point. He's so old. I guess maybe they made him look even older in this to make him feel like old sensei,
Yeah, because he looks a bit old in 2010 movie.
Yeah, They were playing up that he was an older guy in that one. Here he's even older. And I was like, from behind with his little nice gray hair, and it's like, that's a little Chinese grandma. He even walks like
a little wobbly, but then he fights.
He's like,
he's smooth like water.
That's fucking Jackie Chan.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's gonna have to be it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening to the second half of this, whatever that was. We'll be back early next week with the Patreon/member exclusive episode. We're gonna talk about the entire franchise, I suppose, and maybe about another fight movie. Other than that,
I think for the week after that, I think it's time for Ballerina, baby.
Ooh.
If I remember the dates correctly.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
Yeah. But until then, have a good one. Bye. The SpoilerCast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It's produced and hosted by Tobias Vedén. Co-host is Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. I also want to give a shout out to all our patrons over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. CK85, Christopher Bylén, Daniel Gaisun, Annika Vedén, Jacob, Mom and Mac, and Laura Kinney.